James Ferrara, team captain. Tonight, it was quite a physical game to start with, but it did seem to soften up a little bit. Was that sort of the result of having a high intensity carrying over from last night?
Possibly. We went out hard. Obviously, after last night, we were a little disappointed not to get 2 points after being 3 goals up. So our aim was to go hard at the start in the first period and get the lead, and we never managed to do that. I thought we'd push on once we got that goal early in the second period, and we weren't able to do that. Once we were chasing the game, it's one of those things where we've got to try and do something with the puck. So the game softens up. They just sat back, and it makes a bit of a boring game for everyone, really. And we just weren't able to penetrate them, like get behind the D, get the good shots off on net. Really, they frustrated us, and we weren't good enough after we scored our goal.
Yeah, of course, like you say about their D as well, so they've got a pretty solid netminder. Their D are obviously well drilled. Is it quite hard to sort of, like you said, about trying to penetrate the D and get behind them?
Definitely, that was one of the things tonight. We know how Slough play. They always sit in the middle, they let us come at them and wait for us to make the mistakes, and tonight we made the mistakes at the wrong times, which created their goals and their chances. Once we were chasing the game, it's difficult. After you've played 5 periods of hockey, to then go and chase a 3-goal lead is tough on a weekend. So it was just one of those where we didn't have enough at the end.
Yeah, of course. Of course, looking back at last night as well, an unfortunate or disappointing shootout loss against MK, but up 4-1 early on anyway. And was it just a case of peaking too early at that point?
Maybe. We did all the simple things right. We defended well as a group, and we took our chances well in that first period. And we had some chances for the first half of the second period last night. Didn't manage to take them, a bit unlucky. They got a couple of lucky goals. I think Tom Carlin scored from behind the goal line. Just one of those things that happens, but they pressured, and fair play to them. They worked their bag off to try and get that point and take it to overtime. And we sat back a lot, defended well at times, but just silly mistakes cost us and slipped them back in it. We weren't able to take that extra point at the end, but the referee didn't do us any favours last night either.
That's what I've heard. Now, of course, speaking of refereeing, the team seems to have sort of hit a bit of a patch of sort of penalty trouble, I think, at the moment as well. Is that sort of a reflection of sort of the frustration that the guys are feeling at the moment?
Yeah, possibly. It's our own fault. If we go up, if the game had gone differently tonight, maybe we wouldn't have took as many penalties. But once we're chasing and get frustrated and let a couple of silly goals in like that, everybody kind of feels that little extra kick in them to go out and make something happen, and often that leads to penalties, which I'm afraid, because we didn't have the puck enough towards the end of the second period and the third period, and when you're chasing and trying to make something happen and get the puck back off the opposition, sometimes you just do that a little bit too much.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah, of course. Now, looking forwards then, obviously next weekend is Telford and Guildford, obviously both of whom are sort of interesting prospects, I think, either way. But what's going to be the keys this week to sort of ensuring that Phantoms can turn the fortunes around?
Just hard work, get back to training, work real hard, maybe change what we need to change, similar to what I said a week or so ago. It's down to the coach or the new coach, whatever is going on now, to try and rectify what's gone on. We need to try and freshen things up a little bit, maybe, and see what happens this week. But we just got to stick together as a group, learn from our mistakes, and we made a lot of them lately, and try and rectify that in training, ready for next weekend. And 2 games which are winnable. We've beaten Telford this year. We know what we're coming up against, no matter who they have in the lineup. It's a game that we should be going in confident of winning. And Guildford at home, I know we haven't performed well at home lately, but we should be able to beat anyone at home. So we've got to hopefully take some confidence from Saturday into Sunday. They're missing a few guys at the minute. They had a bad game yesterday. I'm not sure how they got on tonight, and hopefully we can take 3 or 4 points out next weekend, which is a must for us.
Yeah, of course. And obviously as captain as well, so what do you say now, obviously the whole situation, with coaching changes and things like that, what do you say to, sort of to your teammates that you're...
It's good to still be vocal, to chat, to have a laugh, and make sure the place is still fun. A few guys, depending on what situation it is, maybe go into their shell a little bit more, or get a little bit worried about what's going to go on. Now there's a new coach coming in, what the new coach is going to change. So everything's a bit up in the air, but it's important that we all just stick together, keep talking out on the ice to try and improve things. Maybe as a line, get together and just go through a few things, what you're going to do, what you're going to not do, defence as well as parents, and just try and keep things rolling, keep things so that everyone knows what they're doing, so everyone's on the same page ready for next week.
Cool. Thanks very much for speaking to us, James.
No problem.